Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And I hope that all the children in the room can lead us. So all you children, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Ready? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. We do have Spanish translation available.
We have Vivian Rodriguez. Vivian.
Sí, muy buenas noches y bienvenidos de parte de la Junta Directiva del Distrito Escolar de Santa Bárbara. Si necesitan ayuda de un intérprete, pueden levantar la mano para darle un audífono. No sé si tengo suficientes, pero estoy en el segundo cuarto. Y si levantan la mano, voy a traer los audífonos que tengo disponibles. ¿Está bien? Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have headsets for the hearing impaired if you need those. Dr. Sarvis, introductions, proclamations, presentations, or recognitions.
Well, Mr. Heron Board, we do have a couple of presentations tonight. Science students, I'd like you to come from the back room, please. You can come through the doorway in the courtyard. Okay, folks, we're going to fill this with science students who have done the science projects in the next room. There we go. Just stand right here. How about? Well, you know, we won't have room, so let's go ahead and line up front here. Well, just moments ago, the board took a break and was able to view some great science projects. And tonight, we're recognizing some students who did very well at the county or the state level. Some did well at the county level, some did well at the state level, some did well at both. On Friday, April 16, the 2010 Santa Barbara County Science Fair took place at UC Santa Barbara. Many of our students were there to compete and then competed on May 17, 18 at the California State Science Fair. Tonight we recognize the students who won Best in Fair and Best in Division at the county level, some of whom won at the state level and some won at both. And I can't quite figure that out, but I'm sure you did, because after you've lived through it, then you sort of understand that. So I'm going to announce your name. If you just step forward when I announce your name, we have a plaque for each of you. We're going to start with Cole Kurth from La Colina Junior High. And Cole's project, winner of Junior Biological Division, Don't Drink and Sing. No, it's not that kind of drink, but there are a lot of different kinds of drinks that he tested, and he can tell you if you're going to sing, don't drink coffee just before you sing, don't drink milk just before you sing. Right, Kurt? Good. Junior Environmental Award, Living in Acid, Alyssa Mueller, La Colina Junior High. And Junior Microbiological Award, Beating Bacteria, What is the Best Bet? From Sienna Okomo, Santa Barbara Junior High. And Concrete, a use for used tires in the Junior Mechanical Division, Jenna Hulme. Hulme? Oh, she's not here. I thought that was Jenna that I was talking to. Okay. Jenna Hulme from La Colina Junior High School, Concrete, a use for used tire. Best in Fair Senior Life Science is Rinsing Your Apple Enough, Jamie Maynor, San Marcos High. And Jamie is not here. Jamie was dressed in her volleyball gear. She's on her way to practice. I had to write a note to her coach to tell him that she would be late. But I did get the answer to the question, is rinsing your apple enough? No. You're going to have to buy organic, folks. First place in the Junior Division California State Science Fair Product Science Biological category. Sweeten your knowledge, the search for the perfect sugar substitute, Delia Bullock, Goleta Valley Junior High. And fourth place in the Junior Division Physics and Astronomy category, Aging Stars, Daniel Godinez, Alcantara, and Kaylin Canales, Goleta Valley Junior High. Board, both Michael and Kaylin are students, I'm proud to announce, from our AVID program, and they just got today their certificates with their own password, or their own passcode to the Falks Observatory so that they can use the telescope when they want. Big deal. Ms. Miller, I guess they're on a schedule for that, aren't they? Santa Barbara County Science Fair and California State Science Fair. Santa Barbara County Best in Division, Junior Behavioral, Detecting Image Forgeries, Varsha Manjana. Varsha. I even studied your name in advance, but I doubted myself. Manjuvana. Marcia went to take second place at the state level in the junior division in the cognitive science category. Congratulations. And Best in Fair, County Science Fair, Santa Barbara County Best in Fair, Junior Physical Science, Enzyme Stabilization in Calcified Marine Algae. And this is Madeline Mathis, Goleta Valley Junior High. And Madeline, I understand you went on to take third place at the state level in the junior division in biochemistry and molecular biology. Congratulations. And finally, for our students, we better not have too many hang on to this one. We have Santa Barbara County Best in Division Senior Physical Science, Factors Affecting Gas Diffusion, Michael Feldman, San Marcos High. Michael. Michael went on to take fourth place at the state level in the senior division in physics and astronomy. Congratulations to all of you students. Mr. Herron?
Yes, well, we'd like to add the congratulations of the entire board. Going through those and listening to some of you give me the shortened version. I didn't understand the shortened version, so I'm hoping I could understand the longer version if it came about, but it is fantastic. Wonderful work. You're all to be commended very highly, obviously, and you are. So thank you very much for spending tonight with us.
I want to know what the best sugar substitute is.
What is the best sugar substitute?
Well, none of them really came close to sugar at all, as in as how well liked they were. But the most balanced one was Splenda.
Splenda, okay.
Splenda.
Dave, can you put the website up there so they can watch themselves Saturday night at 5 o'clock? Go to the channel 18 at 5 o'clock, and you can see yourself on TV, or your parents can see you on TV. Okay.
Well, students, don't go anywhere yet. Congratulations. And congratulations, parents. I saw some teachers here in the audience that have worked with these students, and I appreciate everyone's involvement in that process. Parents, as we know, that are your support and encouragement, have a major role in our students' academic success. And congratulations to Kim Miller, the California State Science Fair Teacher of the Year, Junior Division, Kim Miller, Goleta Valley Junior High. Board, you will recall that a number of years ago we granted a sabbatical. Kim's work with students, for instance in astronomy and use of the Falks telescope, was a direct result of the contacts she made during her sabbatical. Kim, would you like to say something?
This is the service rendered.
Well, we're very proud of all of you. Thank you.
Looks like retirements. It's got teachers here for retirement.
You want, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see them in the room too. Nancy Allen
I see that.
Susan, do you want to say something? Mrs. Deacon?
Well, I just wanted to say how much I value the work of our teachers in this whole process and the work of the parents, because we know the students don't achieve without the help of their teachers and their parents. And so I just want to make a special note that we need to really commend our teachers for the great work they did and work guiding our students through this process. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have some other recognitions. Last week, the Teachers Network Impact 2 Educational Celebration recognized Santa Barbara County Teacher of the Year, Marilyn Garza. And Marilyn, I saw you in the next room. Are you here? Would you please weave your way through if you can? I'm going to tell you more. The Marvin Melvin Career Technical Educator, ROP South recipient James Bailey, Santa Barbara High School, and QAD TechNet Technology Grant recipient Scott Yamada, Dos Pueblos High School. We've asked some of the teachers to be here. Here's Marilyn right here, our Santa Barbara County Teacher of the Year. And board, you met her before. Marilyn, I'm just going to keep dragging you up in front of people.
Beginning to like it.
Yeah. We had other recipients, and we've invited a number of those to come tonight. Boy, I don't see our other recipients, but let's see if they're here. Okay. La Cuesta High School Principal Kathy Abney received the Administrator Reward. Award. It wasn't a reward, no. Kathy Abney. Here, come over on the camera side, would you please? And from Adams School, receiving the Elementary Teacher Award, Jennifer Gibson. And from San Marcos High School, receiving the Secondary Teacher Award, Dessa Mandarino. Dessa, I don't see Gianna. You said you were going to bring her. And from La Cuesta, receiving the Certificated Support Provider Award, Deborah Teaton. Deborah, congratulations again. This is really unusual. These are all judged blind. So the people who judge the recipients have no idea what school they are from. They don't know who is making the recommendation, or you know, they don't have any of the locational specifics. For the first time ever, we had two people from the same site that were awarded, Deborah and Kathy Abney. So we're very proud of all of you. You're a great example of the profession that you all represent so well.
Thank you very much. We add our congratulations, and you do a great job, and very, very proud of each of you. Thank you.
And finally, thank you, Marilyn. See you at the next event. Finally, we have a number of service awards to present to valued employees. Elaine Alvarado from our Office of Human Resources is here to tell us about 14 employees being recognized tonight for 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, and 45 years of service. We did the math, and this group of employees has provided 465 years of service to public education. Elaine?
Thank you, Dr. Sarvis. Tonight, we are recognizing those employees for their outstanding years of service to our district. Again, recognizing those that have been with us for 30 or more years. Again, totaling an amazing 465 years. Their dedication to our students is deeply appreciated by their peers, their staff, the families of our students. We thank them and all of our other employees who will receive service recognition certificates for 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 years with our districts. It's a pleasure to celebrate their service tonight. As we call your names, if you would come up and remain up front so that we can all recognize you together. I'm going to start with the classified group. We have, hopefully, those that are here for their service recognition should come forth now. Okay. Okay. I'll recognize a couple that were not able to make it. One is Annie or Annette Annabelle from Cleveland School with 30 years of service, an instructional assistant in special ed. Rosa Buse, many of you know, our payroll technician, with us for 30 years. Gloria Fuste, attendance from Santa Barbara High. Come on up, Gloria. Thank you. We forgot. We're not planning this right. Thank you. Okay. Michael Rosales, Goleta Valley Junior High. I'm sorry, McKinley. I know. Thank you. Another long-term McKinley employee, Margaret Saavedra, 30 years. And a special recognition, Lupe Santana, 30 years in human resources. I just want to make the notation. I have to give her a hat. Lupe actually processed my paperwork years ago in HR, so I'm always, it's almost like full circle coming around so that she's recognizing us. Great. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ann Peak.
We also have two certificated members with us this evening that have achieved 30 years. One is Mike Nunn of La Cumbra, one of our music teachers. Congratulations. And Zoanne Summers from our Child Development Department. There you go. We also have a number of our certificated staff that have been with the district for 35 years or more. The first is Nancy Alatag. And Nancy has been in both our elementary and our secondary district. Carolyn Callahan from Santa Barbara High. I don't know if she was able to make it this evening or not. Charles Casca from our special ed department has also 35 years of service. Oops. And we also have from Franklin Elementary, Maria Ray. celebrating 40 years of service to the district, and I'm not sure if she was able to make it this evening or not, is Lois Hill. I don't think Lois was able to make it. And then we also have Deanna Marciando from Cleveland, who's been with the district for 45 years. Yeah. Oh. That's it?
So once again, thank you everyone for your service to the district. Again, your dedication is just tremendous. Thank you so much.
You all can also watch on TV Saturday night at 5 o'clock and show your family and your grandchildren and everyone else. Congratulations.
Well, Mr. Heron, we were happy to have such a large audience to see all that.
Superintendent's report.
I do have some things to report on tonight. Proms have taken place and senior awards and junior high awards are underway. Promotion and graduation celebrations for 2010 are just around the corner. Board members, you have your assignments, you know which schools you're going to. We have staff members who are assigned to those schools as well.
Excuse me, Dr. Sarvis. Can we try to keep it down while everybody's leaving, and we'll get on with the meeting? Thank you, Dr. Sarvis.
Board, I alerted you earlier that San Marcos had received a 6-year WASC accreditation. Immediately before the board meeting tonight, I discovered that Dos Pueblos has also received notification that they have a 6-year accreditation from WASC. Each school will have a one-day revisit in 3 years, and we will soon hear about Santa Barbara High School. Yesterday, we had the honor of having award-winning filmmaker Ken Burns meet with about 200 students from Dos Pueblos, San Marcos, and Santa Barbara High Schools, as board members Annette Cordero and Susan Deacon may choose to expand on later in the agenda. It was a wonderful experience for our students, many of them coming from our video production, theater, social sciences classes, filmmaking classes. There was no shortage of questions from our students, and weren't they great questions? Very relevant to students. It was fine of Ken Burns to spend the time with our students. The event was made possible by the Orfalea Foundation and UCSB Arts and Lectures. Tomorrow evening, the Anti-Defamation League will host the annual No Place for Hate recognition from 5 o'clock to 6:30 at the Earl Warren Showground. This is the first year that 100% of our schools are participating in the program, and every one of our schools qualifies as a No Place for Hate school, which is in keeping with our board focus goal of maintaining safe schools and positive school climates. You know, things like bullying are things that you constantly have to work on, and each of our schools is. Our special board meeting begins at 8:30 this Friday, 8:30 in the morning. It will include a facilities tour of Santa Barbara High and Adams Elementary. The purpose is to view and learn about capital improvement projects prior to the consideration of a possible bond ballot measure. The meeting will be convened here in the boardroom in the district office, and following we will then go to the school sites. There will be no board deliberations or actions taken during the visits, and there will be no further opportunity for public comments during the visits. We will make a point of viewing the cafeteria, kitchen, and greenhouse at Santa Barbara High School, followed by a visit to the library and viewing of the portable configuration at Adams Elementary School. The public is invited to attend, but they will need to arrange their own transportation. Anyone needing transportation services should notify my office as soon as possible. I also wanted to comment on the board brief. The board brief is a collection of news reports and articles on the district. There's a copy of the most recent board brief on display in the reception area. And just as an example, in the last board brief, we showed the amount of dollars our district spends on electricity in follow-up to the board report on a possible solar project. We spend almost $1.3 million each year on electrical power, which could be offset by a solar project. And I know that sounds like a lot, and it's because it is a lot, but we do maintain 1.8 million square feet of space. If we can do anything to defray that cost, I believe we should. And in coming events, we have a couple of schools with coming events still to come. Cleveland Elementary School's annual Crescendo, Celebrating the Arts event, takes place tomorrow evening. Goleta Valley Junior High School's Jazz Ensemble and Orchestra performs this Thursday. And Santa Barbara Junior High School's spring concert featuring jazz band, concert band, orchestra, and drumline is also this Thursday. And that concludes the superintendent's report tonight.
Any questions of Dr. Sarvis? Board comments and correspondence, C2. Dr. Noel?
Yes, I don't want to steal Dr. Hayden's thunder, but there's one comment I'd like to make. La Cumbre Junior High School was this year scored in the STAR test results very high. There is something called the Similar Schools Index. Our goal in the district is that all of our schools should be in the top 20% of their similar schools. La Cumbre was in the top 10%, but better than that, La Cumbre was the first in the top 10%, the top of its class, and I really commend Ms. Keynes and all of the staff at La Cumbre for their fine work.
Any other comments? Mrs. Deacon?
I know this is a busy time of year. I just wanted to talk about a few things that I've done so far already, which were to attend the AVID graduation. This was the first graduating class of AVID, and it was so impressive and so inspiring, and the students were so articulate, and it was incredible to hear about all the college opportunities that they have, and so I just want to give a shout out to them for that great performance and for the program success. I also wanted to mention I'm the board liaison with the Santa Barbara Education Foundation, and one of our board members was recently appointed to the position of Director of Development for the Santa Barbara Foundation. That's Jen Campbell, who's also a San Marcos High School parent and has been an active fundraiser for our schools. And so we're going to be, I think, very lucky to have her in those dual roles, and that's an exciting piece. So thank you.
Mrs. Cordero?
Well, I just want to follow up on Dr. Sarvis's discussion of the Ken Burns talk yesterday at San Marcos High School, in which all three high schools had students in attendance. And I just really wanted to echo what he said regarding the students' questions. They were some of the most perceptive and insightful questions that I've heard, even from among adults. They asked questions regarding the Mr. Burns's process, how he goes about planning his projects, even to the point of asking questions about the music that he uses, which I thought was a fascinating question, which prompted a really interesting response in terms of the how his process using music differs from the traditional way that films are scored. It was phenomenal. We were incredibly fortunate to have him. And I also want to thank him and the Orpheus Foundation, because he took so much time to talk to the students after his speech and really answered their questions as if he were simply having a conversation with them and not in a perfunctory way of just trying to move on to the next. He took his time, he gave them thoughtful and thorough answers, and it was just a true honor to have him here with us.
By the way, board members, our students stayed. They couldn't get them to leave, and he stayed and kept answering questions all evening.
I would just comment that there are so many good things that our schools have accomplished this year. A day doesn't go by where somebody isn't being honored for something, and it's impossible to name them all because you probably will forget half them. But it's outstanding to see the results of every competition, whether it's math, science, English, sports, you name it, our schools are doing fantastic. I would comment on one thing. The latest issue of the Independent, number one, I'd like to thank the Independent, but there's 44 pages of information about Franklin School and the students and all the students and what they do. It's an absolute collector's edition, so go to the news racks and get your copies because it is tremendous, and thank you to the Independent. One other thing, I was gone last week, or 2 weeks ago, the last meeting, and it is interesting to watch it on DVD. You get a different perspective of what goes on up here. But I would like to say that the last 3 weeks, this topic here is sharing correspondence. There's been a lot of correspondence in the last 3 weeks on multiple of topics. And I would just assure the public that every one of those topics is being covered and looked into and visited. A lot of good things. We had a lot of complimentary correspondence, which we look forward to always. But just a lot of topics, a lot of things that the public is interested in. And you have my assurance that the board does look into those things and responds, and we appreciate we appreciate the correspondence coming in. Any others? Okay. Acceptance of oh, excuse me, I missed announcement of closed session items. Okay, item C3. We did have one motion that came out of B1 student discipline regarding case number 09/10-39. A motion was made by Parker, seconded by Cordero, to hold a supplemental hearing in June, and that motion passed 5-0. Under the other items on B1, they will be on the schedule later tonight. We did have a discussion with legal counsel, nothing to report on that. And on B3, regarding head teacher for the community academy, I'm happy to announce that it was moved to ratify, motion by Parker, seconded by Deacon, the appointment of Abby Vasquez as head teacher at the community academy, and it squeezed through on a 5-0 vote. Abby?
I just wanted to say that I am absolutely thrilled to be named as head teacher. I have, over the last 4 or 5 months at the academy, absolutely fallen in love with the staff and the families at the academy, and look forward to many years of strong growth and continued progress. Thank you very much.
You have nothing to compare with, only a distinguished school, so you can only go up, right? Yeah.
I have enjoyed so very much riding on Amy's coattails for the last 5 months, let me tell you. So we have a lot to live up to, but I know our staff are up to the job, and we have plenty of growth left in us still. So still going up.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. We look forward to it. Public comments. C4. And how many do we have? Yeah. Cool. Okay, we have 10 public comments, so we'll give 2 minutes each. And please, if you put in your slip to speak, can you please come up and be ready when your name is announced? We'll give 3 names at a time. And we have closed public comment. Oh, okay. Okay. We'll call the first 3 names.
Okay, Roberta Wayhill, followed by Bruce McDonald, followed by Christina Mendoza.
And if at all possible, I'd like to follow the the tradition of Cesar Chavez, and I love the idea. Instead of applause, let's just hear your hands go quietly. Okay? Thank you.
Ms. Wayhill? Roberta Wayhill? Okay. Bruce McDonald, followed by Cristina Mendoza, followed by Ariana Neri.
Good evening, board members. My name's Bruce McDonald, and I was asked to make a comment or two on keeping the child development program intact. They asked me to read what I'd written them earlier this week, so I'll do that. First off, my wife and I feel very fortunate to have found an after-school program at Adams Elementary. We're very comfortable knowing that our child is in a safe and stimulating environment. Since we both work, the program has made our everyday family routine much easier and much less complicated. I'll throw in right here, we could afford daycare, and when we got to the child development program, it's made a huge difference in our child's education and advancement. One of the reasons we chose Adams Elementary was that the school offered high-quality supervised care right on campus. The staff is creative and concerned with each child's learning experience. I don't get the impression that our child is like lost in a crowd at all. He's interacted with, stimulated, and disciplined when appropriate. Our family would be greatly affected if the school-age program's hours of service
30 seconds.
were reduced. That was fast. Anyway, I noticed on the flyer here that it says, "Child care keeps California working." I think the child development program is very worthwhile and deserves to be kept as it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Cristina Mendoza, followed by Ariana Neri, followed by Araceli Williams.
Good evening. My name is Cristina Mendoza. I have 2 children who have been enrolled in the Child Development Program at Franklin Children's Center since June of 2008. This has allowed myself and my husband to work full-time. Before they were age eligible for the program, my husband was unemployed due to the high cost of daycare and stayed at home taking care of our children. Once our children got into the program, we were both able to work full-time and live independently. This allowed our children to have a much better living situation, and from day one, we felt completely comfortable leaving our children with the staff at Franklin Children's Center. The program allows us to go to work carefree because we know our children are in good hands. The teachers provide a loving, kid-friendly environment. The Children's Center has provided my children with wonderful social skills, motor skills, and improved their language development. When my daughter started kindergarten, she was able to transition with no problem at all. She said, "Bye, Mommy." Out the door I was. My son, who is currently in the program, will also be prepared for kindergarten as his English language development has improved tremendously. He can also recognize the alphabet, shapes, colors, and numbers. He can write his first name and is starting to write his last name. This is with all of the help of his preschool teacher. She has done an amazing job in
30 seconds.
in guiding us to prepare our children for school. If this program was reduced to school year only or no longer available, this would cause a great distress on my family. The likelihood of us both being able to continue to work full-time would be slim. Not only would this cause teachers and staff to be unemployed, but also so many families, causing people to be on unemployment, be on welfare. And I also strongly believe that this would cause our children and our youth to get involved in gangs and to get into trouble because of the lack of after-school daycare.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. Ariana Neri, followed by Araceli Williams, followed by Joan Esposito.
Hi, good evening. Actually, this letter is from a parent that had to leave to go to school, so I'm just reading it for the parent. Okay, so I am very appreciated and grateful for all of the wonderful services that my child developed, the child development program provides to my son Anthony and myself. Having the child development program in the school is very convenient to both my son and I. I do not have to get out of work to take him to a different place. Having this program all year works perfectly with both my life and my schedule. I am a single mother and Anthony is my only child. I have to work full time and have no one else to take care for him while I'm at work. If the program was to close during the summer, I would have to find a place or come to worse, a person to take care for him. I would not feel comfortable going to work. I would spend most of my day wondering what my son is doing, if he already ate, what he is being fed, how he is being treated. As a mother, I worry because you hear so many stories about child abuse. Not only that, but it will be a problem financially too. I will have to come up with more money to pay that place or person, which would mean getting a part-time job and spending less time with my son. If I was to be in that situation, I would probably have to go and apply for welfare, which I have
30 seconds.
which I have refused to do ever since I found this program. The reason why I have refused is because the child development programs charges me a fee based on my income. The teachers are very professional and they have helped me more than I could have asked. They go out of their way to make sure that my son is not only doing well academically, but also emotionally. Yes, I did say emotionally. They take the time to listen to Anthony when he's having a bad day. They listen to him, and sometimes that is all he really needed in the first place. And I have never had a problem with any of the teachers. Like I mentioned before, I am very pleased.
Ms. Neri, your time is up. If you would like to submit the letter to the board,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Araceli Williams, followed by Joan Esposito, followed by Irene Bogarin.
Hi, my name's Araceli Williams, and my son Tyler is part of the Franklin after-school program. The Child Development Program has been a part of my life for the past 11 years. The year-round programs have helped develop and reinforce what my boys have learned in the classroom. The teachers and assistants work on identifying their strengths and uncovering the gaps. They build a relationship with each of our families and work closely together with each of us so we can help our children thrive. The program is not just a daycare. The teachers support our children's education while offering a safe and fun environment. If the program was not available during summer break, I don't know where my child would go. Summer camps are expensive, and having 4 children would make it impossible. The development program has allowed my boys to have quality daycare during the summer. Encourage and support their education while having activities planned out for them and making their summer a fun time. If one of the options for me is, or one of the only options I would have is my 6-year-old son could be left alone with his teenage brothers. But what that would mean would be playing video games, watching TV, not having any of the other activities that most other kids whose families could afford to would be able to do. Most of the parents here don't have any options. Finding daycare is out of the question due to the cost. In a difficult time when we're all struggling to get by week to week in this economy, it has
30
been a
seconds.
blessing to have a place we as parents can rely on for our children to be at after school and during breaks. Without this program, many people will not be able to continue their education or even lose their jobs if they cannot afford daycare. Please take all these families and their concerns into consideration before making any decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Joan Esposito, followed by Irene Bogarin, followed by Margarita Dominguez.
Good evening, Joan Esposito from the Dyslexia Awareness and Resource Center. As this board knows, last year on April 28th, you got your first report from the Fiscal Crisis Management Team. In that report, there were many issues brought up about the school district and the distrust of parents with the administrators and the fear and the retaliation, and also the issue of there was nowhere for the parents to go and complain. Well, I came in front of you last year on one of your school principals who had delayed special education assessments on 3 students. When we finally did get those assessments several years later, all 3 students have multiple learning disabilities, multiple. We filed a complaint against this principal, and we were directed to go into one of your investigators. We had maybe several hours of tapes, dozens and dozens of documents, and we're yet to find out. We're told by Dr. Sarvis and your attorney that we're not going to get the recommendations from that. We will never find out what the investigation carried, what the district's resolution is in that. In that investigation. We were also told last week at a meeting by one of your many attorneys who came up from Los Angeles at a very expensive cost to the district.
30 seconds.
That we were supposed to file a written complaint, and that's in the policies. Well, I will tell you, Dr. Sarvis, Miss Robin Zinkowski, and no one told us that we had to file a written complaint. This has been explained to us by your attorney 9 months later. How do we file complaints? Who listens to us? Do we have to wait 9 months for those teachers that have really, harmed these children for a response from this district, and you have to hire an attorney to come in? It is a violation of the Office of Civil Rights Act. It's discriminatory.
Thank you, Ms. Esposito.
Excuse me, to force a parent to have to write.
Thank you,
in
Ms.
the complaints.
Esposito.
And Dr. Sarvis, I really think that
Ms.
you need to be
Esposito.
removed from your position.
Irene Bogarin, followed by Margarita Dominguez, followed by Eileen Colton.
Do the same again.
Irene Bogarin? No,
She's not
okay.
here. Good night. My name is Margarita Dominguez. Dear members of the School Board of Education, my daughter Leslie Cruz attends Franklin State Preschool. I want to express my support for the continuation of the program. My daughter has developed language skills, English speaking skills, and social skills to prepare her for kindergarten and success in school. She, through play and preschool, learns creative thinking skills. She learns mathematical thinking skills and problem solving. She has learned literary skills, writing her name, and reads early reading books, along with thinking skills and develops physical skills. It has helped her build skills necessary for children, thinking, and leadership. She learns about community and meets community helpers. It prepares Leslie for success in life. Paying for the program now pays off later in lives of children who have tools to succeed in life. For us working parents, this program really helps with our kids' education. Without these programs, kids like mine will be watching TV at a babysitter's house, missing on all the benefits of this program. Please keep our preschool program open. Thank you for your time. And before you make any decisions, think of our kids, because your decision will change their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Dominguez. Eileen Colton, followed by Lauren Mason.
Hi, my name is Eileen Colton. I'm a teacher, an after-school teacher at Franklin Child Development Center. And my class has prepared just a little thing for you guys in hopes to keep the school open, and we'd like to do it for you.
Wrong side, sorry. Okay. Here we go. One, school. It isn't fair or cool. We need a place to stay.
Thank you, Ms. Colton, and thank you, students. Lauren Mason.
Okay, thank you.
It's a tough act to
Mr. Mason,
follow.
yes, it is. You may proceed.
Over the past 2 weeks, the district has both mailed and sent home with both of my children letters that state students will receive homework/extra credit for completing a GATE survey. Even though this survey is supposedly voluntary, both the parent and the student are told to sign and return the letters stating that they have completed the online survey. If we do not sign and return the letters, then my children will not receive the homework/extra credit. What does a voluntary survey have to do with anything that could affect my children's grades? I'll say that again. What does a voluntary survey have to do with anything that could affect my children's grades? I brought this to the attention of my son's principal last year, and this year the same practice continues. I wish the district would once and for all put an end to the practice of strong-arming parents into doing something by using the student's desire to get better grades in school as a weapon. I will be here for the entire meeting this evening and would appreciate it if someone in this district could assure me at the break that my children will not be discriminated against when we choose not to take a voluntary survey for a program that the district eliminated. Seeing the district's vast desire to convince parents that there is still a GATE program, yes, Virginia, there is a GATE program, and the duplicity in both the mailing and sending home of GATE survey letters, I began to wonder if the district has any policies for the way GATE funds are spent. Does the board have any formal approval policy or oversight for GATE expenditures? If so, how detailed is the accounting for all expenditures? Consider this a formal request to the board and the district to see the public information accounting of the GATE funding, state, district, donation/fundraising, and a detailed list of all GATE expenditures. I would appreciate it if someone from the district would tell me at the break what I have to do to get this request honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mason. That concludes public comment.
Mr. Herron will be happy to follow up on Mr. Mason's concerns.
Thank you.
Let me also say that later on the agenda, we have a report on the governor's proposal for childcare and preschool programs, which is devastating.
Okay. We will now go to acceptance of donations.
Move to accept with appreciation.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The consent calendar. Let me just comment. I don't know how long you all want to stay, but you're more than happy to leave during our meetings if you would like to. We're going to be here till probably 10:45, and I think some children probably want to get to bed. Okay. Pardon? This is not a topic that will be even just discussed tonight. It's not on the agenda and is not part of our meeting tonight. We appreciate all the comments, obviously, but it's not something that will be discussed. The consent agenda? Dr. Noel?
Yes, I'd like to pull D2, D3, D5, D6, D11, and D15.
Mrs. Parker?
I'd like to pull D12.
On D12, there was one page missing.
That was my question.
But it's
essentially.
in the document preceding on the back of one of the pages.
Okay.
Yeah. At least in my copy, it was in the warrant section on the back of one page.
On the back. Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yep.
All right. I'm willing to unpull D12.
Any others? I would like to pull D14. Okay, how about a motion
Move
for the
to-
rest?
Move to approve the remainder of the consent agenda.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. We will go to the action items, and we'll start with E1, approval of issuance of 1,652 diplomas to end-of-year high school graduates.
But we have a lot of graduates again this year. 2 years ago, it was an all-time high. We're very near that number once again. These are the names that we anticipate will make it to graduation. You know, some of these are rushing toward the finish, getting in their community service hours, making sure that they pass their courses. Some of these will not make it. But we will ask you to approve, and we will make that final judgment by June 3rd. Mrs. Waske, did I need to announce anything else?
No, you said it all.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'd like to make a motion. This is actually one of the really nice, fun things that we get to do, and I would like to make a motion that we approve the issuance of diplomas to end-of-the-year high school graduates.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Mr. Smith, can you turn the clock off so we can see the time? Thank you. E2, approval to submit the Harding Early Years Program Phase 2 proposal to J.S. Bauer Foundation.
Robin Sawaski, our Associate Superintendent, will introduce this.
Okay, and you have in front of you the timeline. I believe you received in the board brief a copy of the information ahead of time so that you had plenty of time to look at it. And we have some staff and partners in the room. And Dr. Sally Kingston is here to present the Harding Early Years Program Phase 2 proposal to the J.S. Bauer Foundation. And yes, Dr. Kingston?
I think we're just booting up the PowerPoint. Do we have just a few seconds to do that? Okay, we made a few changes. Thank you.
In the meantime, can you tell us about your fundraiser Sunday?
We had our annual Celebrate the Arts fundraiser for visual and performing arts. And this year we had it at the UCSB Faculty Club just as kind of to launch the Harding University Partnership School. And I'd say we probably had 100 people there. It might have been a little smaller than usual. And we don't have a final count, right? That's what we all want to know. How much did we make? But it's probably $20,000 to $25,000. And I think it was very positive and very focused on students and a lot of student art because we have the new art program this year. So that was very exciting addition. And I'm always happy that our board president can attend on your behalf because it makes a big difference and we appreciate it. So
I was chastised when I got home that I didn't bid on the house in Scotland. You know, and I tried to call her during this bidding and couldn't get her, so.
So, forward and back. So we are here. I know we just have a brief time to present this PowerPoint about the Harding Early Years Program. We are embarking upon Phase 2. Phase 1 you saw before was this year, and Phase 2 consists of 3 years. And basically, you know our data about our school, and I just want to remind you, we often are misunderstood as being a higher number of English learners. We are now at 61% English learners. We're here because we want every student to be career or college ready, and this is the draft of the new authorization of ESEA, and despite children's backgrounds. And then you know where we're going because you've seen our strategic plan. Many of you have been involved in our strategic planning process. And we have always had an emphasis on early childhood. We had a 3-year monthly meetings for the Harding Early Childhood Initiative that blossomed into grants and other funding sources, and that got us to Phase 1 of the Harding Early Years Program. I'm intentionally being speedy because I know I have a short amount of time. And then I know that we look at our state examination results in different ways, but for us, we think it's important to use those data as much as possible to look at our program. And so each year, we look at our grade level results, and this is the 2009 results. And what we're excited about are the early gains. So the 51% of the students proficient or advanced in English language arts and 69 in mathematics. And we don't attribute this to the second grade teachers completely. We look at all of the cumulative results of preschool, kindergarten, first grade, and how we've worked to align. One of the tools that UC mentioned in the early years program is called the Kindergarten School EP Readiness Tool. And I'm sorry, I don't remember it by heart. But what's exciting about this Kindergarten Readiness Tool is that there are 11 research-based items that UCSB has found to show as predictive of third grade results on STAR exams in English language arts. And there are 5 of the items which are cognitive, and there are 6 social emotional. And if you look at these seem pretty doable to be ready for kindergarten. They're testing another 4 or 5 items that are phonemic awareness, phonics, number sense, etc. So I'm going to talk to you about our baseline data as kids entered fall of kindergarten this year. So as I mentioned, if you look to the right, students, there's 11 items, and what UCSB has found in their, across many students and schools, I think over 6,000, is that students are kindergarten ready and then continue on a trajectory of success as evidenced by being proficient or advanced in third grade on STAR results if they know 8 or more of these items. So this shows you the number of students, and this shows you the number of items that are in parentheses. And so you can see that at the beginning of this year, we have 7 students kindergarten ready. So right now, we have a curve that looks like this. To me, this is heartbreaking. We have spent a lot of time, as you know, aligning preschool, increasing preschool, recruiting teachers, attracting teachers, and this is really where we want to go. We really need all of our students to have 8 to 11 items mastered, and there's much more data and results that UCSB is finding about students who don't progress and some that make it out of the lower levels, and that's not why we're here, but it's very fascinating what they're finding with this tool. So as part of the 3-year plan, we're kind of looking at benchmarking our results, and I will just say Rachel Gonzalez-Harris and she is the early childhood director, so she's going to come present, and Jane's going to present on a really exciting slide. But we have to think about benchmarks across the years, and I've been told my standards may be too high and I want to go too fast. So I just want to say my lens on this, it's too low. But right now, we have 10% of the students that are kindergarten ready. So if we added 10 more students each year, next year you'd have 14%, then 38%. That's across 4 classrooms, that's 2.5 students. So doable or correct, I don't know. So we're looking at benchmarking, just playing around with this for right now. Okay, so that's our intro with data, where we are, and Rachel is going to present our framework. Okay, I'll do this.
So if you look at our framework, I like to look at this as a wraparound of the child and families that come to our school. We have aligned this, and we're consistent with the strategic plan that comes from First 5. We have collected data, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but just to let you know what surveys we have done, parents we've talked to in our community, students and parents that go to our school. One of the questions that we asked every person that we interviewed was, if you could create an ideal system of coordinated and integrated services 0 to 5, what would you include? We took that data, we took information that we know and lots of research, and came up with our plan. The interesting thing with the families at our school is 95% of the kindergarten families said that they want their children to go to college. That's great. And 97% of the preschool families said they want their children to go to college. So we're excited about that because parents are thinking about college for their children. So what we've done is we've taken the 4 areas and we've departmentalized them, but there's a lot of overlap. So when you look at these slides, I want you to understand that when we talk about age 0 to 5, that there's different tiers, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And tier 3 is our highest needy families, families that just need a lot of support. I'm going to focus right now just on one tier for the health and well-being, which is tier 1, ages 0 to 1. So our goal is to have a prenatal nurse who stays with the family, talks to the mom about prenatal care, possibly goes to the hospital with the mom. We'll have child development specialists after the baby's born that we can do home visits, along with having promotoras involved, which are people who will be from our community, who will have a relationship with the families, who will meet with them as needed, as often as they want, so that they can feel supported and they know where to go to get help, which is on our campus. High quality learning for all. I'm going to just focus on tier 2. We're looking at a class that is from San Antonio, Texas, called Avance. It's 27 weeks of a parenting class. Our families would come to campus. They would be there for 27 weeks. As I said, they would be there for 3 to 4 hours during the day while their child is in either childcare or with them if they choose to keep their child with them. And the Avance class will be teaching them everything from parenting, immunizations. There's a scripted program for that. Oh, and then Jane's on the next one. It's getting a little cozy up here.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to talk about social and emotional well-being. As you know, certainly as well as I do, that academic achievement and social emotional well-being go hand in hand. We have the opportunity from our UCSB resources to offer some capacity building at Harding with a service that we're calling Family Strength Center. This is based on at least 4 years of research now at UCSB and a national body of research about effective works helping families reach their goals. Families want the best for their kids. How do we help them actually, how do we work with them to make sure they have the strategies and the supports to make that happen? We'll have 3 faculty members who will devote significant time to this, Drs. Shane Jimerson, Erin Dowdy, and Dr. Kali Conley. They'll supervise several doctoral students who'll be there, who'll be at the school site for actually pretty much 5 days a week to make that happen. So we're excited about the opportunity and excited about the chance to connect these tiers with a kind of advanced data sharing and collaboration with the other resources in the community that we feel we can make happen here. So thank you.
And the last slide here that we're going to talk about is family strengthening. And as you can see, what I mentioned before, how there's a lot of overlapping of services that will happen for our families. In particular, Tier 1 for age 0 to 1, just to give you an idea, we have started the very first in Santa Barbara Spanish-speaking PEP group. For those of you who know, PEP has been around for 30 years. They've wanted to do this. I went to their board, asked if we could run one on our campus, and it has been running for about 6 weeks now. So we will have new moms and dads, because it's all parenting, come to our campus and have a support group where they can come and just meet and hopefully have play dates. And I still meet with my PEP group, and I know lots of people do in town. Then what will happen is in that PEP group, for example, we're hoping that the families start talking about, hey, did you hear about Avance? Do you want to go to Avance? And then there's just this well-rounded group of families who are coming to our school to get services and get support that they need or that they want or they're looking for and they don't know where else to get.
And then this is my favorite slide because we're really talking about changing the culture of the way that we do things. So I'm going to go through these quickly. But right now, the kinds of services we provide at the school have a single point of access. So if I am working with a family and I think that there may need counseling, I need to find the counselor, I need to find the forms. We're talking about a system where anyone at any point can have a protocol and a way to say, you know what, I can help you with that right now. You don't have to walk across the school or the Mitchell-Torrena Bridge to get help. Things are pretty isolated. We really want them to be coordinated. I'm very excited about the social emotional piece because that's our most coordinated piece at this point. We do a lot of referring out. For many of our families, that's difficult. That means walking, looking, trying to figure out how to traverse different systems. We'll do a lot of serving in, mostly. We have existing services, so we kind of contract with existing services, and that's the way it is. But we're really working with those who we want to contract with to say, we want to customize this. We want the ability to say, hey, we've got a group of families that need this, and we're going to give them just what they need. A lot of the things on our campus are disconnected from the ways we would like things to happen, and so this is a really great opportunity to align everything 0 to 12 years old. We have multiple data systems. We have EduSoft, we have Aries. I know First 5 is using GEMS, and this is a bigger collaborative issue than just Harding Early Years program, but how do we have a data system that follows children from 0 all the way through our public system? I think that's a bigger piece of work. And then we have a lot of data on participation. How many families came to the meeting? How many students were served in counseling? We have no data on results. As a result of X amount of sessions with the counselor, which is time out of the classroom mostly, what are the results? We don't have that. And we have an opportunity, and I know that's a big component that Dr. Shane Jimerson and both Aaron Dowdy are working on at UCSB. They have results for the work that they do, and that is so needed in the schools. We are excellent at managing issues. We just made our classes for next year, and we carefully place students with teachers and families to manage particular academic, social, emotional issues because we haven't solved the problems. And so this is really an opportunity to say, how can we help the child be better or the family be better and meet their goals versus just kind of moving things around. And then I know this seems like a lot, but when I heard Jeffrey Canada speak, he said, Sally, Harlem Children's Zone is not the ceiling. I'm building a new floor. And so I want us to think about all of these kinds of services and ways of providing services to families at school to be a new floor and not the ceiling. And then we know this is huge, I'll just say, so we know that we've got to